Thank you guys very much for everything. Anyway, love you guys. So now our next speaker, all the way from Bremerton, Washington, up in the northwest. We got superstar. You know the guy, the double eagle, and all that kind of stuff going on. He's the man right here, 2-star diamond, all the way from upstate Washington. Let's bring him up to the stage. Patrick Santiago, 2-star diamond.
What a way to walk up here, man. Dude, you got me guys pumped up. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate being here. Last year, came out here and really wanted to see the business grow. And I tell you what, the business has been just blowing up crazy. Just hanging out with Pete more often now, building up relationships. So, really excited. One thing I'd like to say, last year, Beachbody has the summit on my anniversary. So, tomorrow's going to be my anniversary, 16 years. Like people have been saying all day, you got to make sacrifices and you got to make that decision. And sometimes things come up in your life, and you got to decide: am I going to be free, or am I going to work in bondage for the rest of my life? And my kids, my beautiful kids here, they know exactly what I do. If you guys really, really want to make the business grow, tell your kids your dreams. Let them know what you want to accomplish. Because when birthdays come up, or a play comes up, and you can't make it, my girls don't question. They know. They're like, we live a great lifestyle because of what Dad does and what Mom does. So, happy anniversary, baby. So, today, you guys got a lot of the why. And Pete always throws me up here because he says I'm the numbers guy. Some of my coaches say, Pat, we need to go smoke some pot sometimes. You come up with some crazy, wild numbers. And you heard some of it from Christy. Some of you guys are sitting there going, how'd she calculate all of that stuff? That's what I did. That's exactly how I think. So I'm going to get to some nuts and bolts real quick on three-way calling. Very, very important thing to learn in this business, okay? People who get involved in the business on their own and try to build it by themselves, it's going to be really difficult. You need to have an upline relationship. You need to have a cross-line relationship. If you don't have an upline relationship, every single one of you guys here are leaders if you have somebody that wants to help you. So reach up and set up this three-way calling system. It works. And so to set up a three-way call, this is going to be really detailed a little bit, but I think if you guys take some good notes, I think your team will benefit. So when you get on a three-way call or your downline calls you need to tell them, hey, when you do a little coaching with them and say when you get in contact with the prospect, you can't just say, hey there, John, this is Patrick, and that's it. The purpose of actually doing the three-way call is for that person to believe in the business. You want them to have some kind of ladder. I call it bridging the ladder. And so when you introduce your upline or your coach who's doing the three-way call, I always tell people to have 2 or 3 good points. And every person has a good point. Some people may not like their upline, or some people may not be superstar diamond or a diamond or emerald. Think about something in that person's life that you can edify. And so I always tell people, if you're going to get me on the line, you can tell them that I have over 2,000 coaches across the United States. We work with one of the top teams, the Ultimate Fitness team, with Pete Pena, seven-figure earner in the business. And he's been around for 5 years. So here he is, Patrick Santiago. Introduced, because that introduction will set the temperature of the call. That prospect will be sitting on the edge of their seat rather than, you don't know what they're doing on a three-way call. They could be, yeah, I got it. They're not listening. But if you can set that call up correctly. And the purpose of the three-way call, if you are doing the three-way call, if you're the coach doing the three-way call, is not to tell the whole story. Pete always says, let the tools do the work. So you're not here to do a 25, 30-minute presentation on the call. If it's a three-way call, the purpose of it is to get them to watch the video. So on our team, we have the standard videos that Pete Pena sends out, and we have a couple of other videos we pulled out of Beachbody, and we call it a media kit. The reason we call it a media kit is because that's a term that's used in the industry. If you work in any corporation, they don't send you, hey, this is my prospecting video or my opportunity video. This is my media kit. So you need to let them know, hey, I'm going to be sending you a media kit. So the purpose of you making all the things you talk about in the three-way call is to promote that media kit, okay? And so in a three-way call with a prospect, the three things that I cover is the company story, just a brief company story, my story, and I also tell people about the UFT. And then I say, hey, I'm going to have so much detail in the media kit that you're going to be able to go through, and I want you to do your due diligence. After you get through the due diligence, the thing that I wrote down there is always book a follow-up. So when you get through the promoting of the media kit, some people will get off the phone, okay? Don't get off the phone. People are scared. I've been on the phone call to listen to some of my new coaches. Don't be afraid. Stay on the phone. In sales, I come from a sales background, and we used to do in-home sales. And some of you have been sold with people coming in your house. The longer I could stay in your house, the more I knew I was going to make a sale, because I could build a relationship. They would literally keep me in the house for almost 45 minutes, they said, minimum. And I had to call in if I was going to leave earlier. So when you're on a call with a prospect, you want to make sure you're booking the follow-up. So get the media kit going. You want to book a follow-up. Don't be afraid to close on the follow-up. And what I would say is, hey, I'm sending you the media kit, John. I wanted to find out, do you have time today to look at it? Or right now? Are you in front of your computer? Why would you not be afraid to say that? You got to say that first. And if they're busy, they say, oh no, I'm at work. I can look at it later on this afternoon. So you're thinking about tomorrow or the next day. When are you going to be able to get in front of me? Because this is really important. Your urgency will make it. Because you need to make sure that they think this is $1 million business. Because it truly is. They don't think it's $1 million business, depending on who you're talking to, where you got your prospect. You are the business to them. So make it urgent. Once I get them to say, yeah, okay, I'll make sure I'm gonna go ahead and get on and go through your media kit, then I'm gonna book for the follow-up. You don't just say, oh, okay, great. Well, I'll call you later. You need to book the follow-up. And listen for closing clues when you're actually getting to that point of talking about getting into the follow-up. Because some people, they may want to stay on the phone longer, and they're going to say, so this sounds really great, of all the information, so if I want to get started, what do I do? You have a choice. You can sign them up right there, or you can say, I'm going to send you the media kit. I'd love to get you started right now, but I want to take you through the process of what people go through when they start with our coaching opportunity. Because we're talking business now. We're not talking about fitness. This is truly somebody who's looking for a business opportunity. And there's closing clues that I like listening to. A lot of my coaches get on my calls with me, and they just say, how did you get them to say that at the end of the call? When you start learning about the business and you have so much conviction, they're only going to have one objection or two objections. Once you overcome them, they're going to want to get started right away. Christy Curtis has signed up people on initial calls right away because she took the time to really understand how to listen to closing clues. Don't say, oh, wait a minute, no, I need to take you to the media kit, and then I got to actually answer all your questions. You must have some objections, right? You're not going to go through all of it. You're going to close the deal. Get them involved in the business, okay? And so here's where edification comes in, real quick. I want to talk about edification because this is where you're going to build your freedom, okay? Edification, when you're doing the three-way call, when you and your upline have a tight relationship, Christy Curtis, Kim Stewart, Christina Boyes, Matt McCall, they know exactly what I'm going to say. And they know exactly what I want them to say to lead me into the call. That's all part about building that relationship. Without that relationship, your three-way calls are going to be kind of hairy. But it takes time to build that edification between the two coaches. So some of you guys are orphans. So you need to reach out and find somebody who can, okay? But edification comes from you finding something good about that person, okay? This is a difficult topic because some people, they don't like the people. They don't like the person they're working with. But I can tell you what you do for your upline, your downline will do for you. Let me say that again. You want to be free. What you do for your upline, your downline will do for you. So when you look in the mirror and you want your downline to edify you, just know that some of them don't like you either. But if you want them to stick in the business, you better stick it out, find a way to build a relationship with your upline. 100%. And find something good about them. If they're not a diamond in the business, but they're doing three-way calls for you, you better thank God you got somebody doing three-way calls for you. So find something good about their job. If they're an executive at the cloud company, you got to talk about what he does. I mean, if I was edifying Chris, I'd say, you know, he speaks to 1,200 people. The largest crowds he speaks to is about 1,200 people, and he educates a ton of people about the iCloud and how the technology works. He's very, very knowledgeable in the technology field, been very, very successful. And he's partnered with me in Beachbody, and I really want him to share with you a little bit about how our company works. I found something to edify. If I was edifying Pete Pena, I have no problem saying Pete Pena's been retired. He retired from being an assistant principal and makes 7 figures a year in this business. And him and his wife are financially independent. And he's one of my best guys. So I want him to really share with you how you can be free if that's your goal. Find something. Edification will get you free. Here's why edification gets you free. I want to show you guys. I want to talk about this because I only have a couple more minutes. Because profitability in the business. You see the pictures of my family. I'm a 2-star diamond. I was never in it for the pin. I always came in for profitability. For my sales background, it was I need to look at the bottom line. Okay? So if you want to build a secure business and have a long-term income, like Pete Pena, like Noel Casimiro, those are people that you guys don't hear a lot. They make a lot of money because we build depth. So real quick, the whole process of three-way calling, edification, and building depth, they all tie into your freedom. And one example I want to share with you, I wrote down here, is, and Pete probably has, I can even throw Pete in this list. If you wanted to know depth, and this is personally sponsored. This is not like finding somebody in depth and then finding somebody in depth. Depth means that everybody's financially tied to each other. If I just drew a line from Pete Pena and why he's free, because he has stability, I'm not going anywhere. Anybody think Christy Curtis is going to quit? Anybody?
Nope.
She'll go over there and chop your head off, but she ain't going to quit. So that's security. So if you looked at from Pete to Sue to Noel to myself, I mean, you've got star diamond, all the way down, and then you've got an emerald, one of my buddies. I don't know why he doesn't want to build a business. His name is Adam. He's an emerald, a ruby. Between him, there's a gentleman named Matt, who's a coach, hasn't built a business. Between them is Stefan, and then there's Melissa, then Christy Curtis. And now Christy Curtis is taking on the reins and duplicated depth. She has Jamie and Tanya, and then Tanya has a couple of other people coming up. You know what's so cool about that, guys? I don't have to worry about my income. All of those people are dedicated to this business. Not because of me. I said this to Jamie. You showed up to Summit. You haven't even talked to me. You don't even know who I am. Really, we know each other on Facebook, and she's going to build a business forever. Now, I'm going to blow you guys' mind here. When you guys think about Pete Pena, the reason why he makes that kind of money is because all that volume, people get hung up. Not only is there depth in his business, but when you build depths in conjunction with a power leg, between everybody, between Jamie and Christy, there are other coaches that she put in, or other coaches above her that they put in. All that volume generates the income. A lot of people try to live, I call it living with your personally sponsored. Do not live with your personally sponsored. If I never made a relationship with Christy because Adam wasn't doing anything, right, Christy? Neither was Matt. You don't even know who they are. Melissa started building the business, and then Melissa decided to take a little bit of break, and I built a relationship with Christy. Had I not driven that, had I not seen the possibility of finding a reason to edify her and have her build her business. And there's rocky roads that happen, but we built it together, and then she now doesn't even need me anymore. She's starting to come back and say, okay, now like this is getting really big, how can I help you? And that's where I can come in and help. But she can edify me to her group because I was involved. If you're not involved, you're not edifiable. You gotta be involved, okay? So that's one example, and I've got another with Christina Boyce. We've got depth in her business. We've got a star diamond backed by a diamond with Zenobia, backed by a diamond with Kayron. And it all happened because we drive depth. Zenobia introduced me to Kayron, and I actually worked with Kayron for a while and helped him. And so don't live with your personally sponsored. I know you guys want to hit Star Diamond. Star Diamond will happen. You know why? My buddy Adam, he runs so much volume, he had to go to Ruby to make sure he's not maxing out on his cycle bonuses. Hello. And now he's almost going to have to go diamond because he's wasting money not going diamond. So he's naturally going to go diamond. But if you want to live long term and live free, you have to drive depth. Now, last thing I'll say is a blow your mind. If you don't think this business is worth it, I'm never quitting. You know why? If everybody on my team quits, just so you guys know, if everybody on my team quits, Beachbody's compensation plan is so awesome. All the emeralds, rubies, and diamonds, listen to me, that have ever gotten customers, Shakeology customers, regular customers, or their customers that they got. You know who gets them all if everybody quits? Me. In my organization right now, if I could run an email out and say, hey, how many customers you got? I guess I probably got about 50,000 customers below me. That's just my business. Think about Pete. If I quit, all those go to Noel. And so you guys, it's worth it to build a business. Think about that. If you guys are building Success Club 5 qualifiers and they're qualifying for customers and they get 1 or 2, don't get mad. They only got 1 or 2 customers. As long as you stick in the business long enough and you hope that they're going to build a business, you will always make money in this business. And freedom is awesome. Okay? I know Pete's got to get up on here, but freedom is awesome. I can tell you that I look forward. I've had the opportunity to fly with multimillionaires on private jets in my previous business. I've been on their yachts. I've been to resorts in Cancun. And that's an awesome life. You guys can live that. Christy got emotional about her family. Me too. I help perfect strangers. Christy Curtis retired of her job, and I got my whole family sitting there watching me. I'm like, why wouldn't you let me help you? That's okay. You guys go get your freedom. You know why? Your family is counting on you guys. Your family is your wife and your kids, and they're counting on you guys to be free. The example you set will allow your family to come. So, thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great time.